But anyway, it's time to get this party started. Ball rolling. I changed metaphors halfway through.
Time to get this ball started.
Okay. Do you want to click the button?
Yes, you click the button. Click the button. So, welcome to a lesson in Kingdom Hearts. To clarify some things to start, because it gets really confusing trying to differentiate, because half of the people in this show are named are named Ansem, and half of them are Xehanort, and the ones who are Ansem aren't even. It's a mess. So, just so we're clear, we have Xehanort's Heartless, who is Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. Riku, who is possessed, who is actually Xehanort, who is not Riku. Xemnas, who has his own name, and I appreciate that. There's the Science Xehanort that is the Xehanort, that's all. He's a mess. We call him Science Nort for short, because it's too long otherwise. And then there's Riku Stop Being Angsty, where he's like, my name is Ansem, and it's like, no Riku, stop that. You're just confusing everyone, there's too many of them already. There's Baby Nort, because Young Xehanort is too long. There's Old Man Nort, Master Nort, Spock Nort, take your pick. And Ansem the Wise, who is actually Ansem, who are almost never referred to as anything other than Ansem the Wise in full, even though it's longer because we don't talk about him much, and I also don't like him because he's a douche. Okay. So, we're going to start by talking about the actual thing, actual Kingdom Hearts. There's some misconceptions about this. That is the only one that is actually Kingdom Hearts. The stuff from the other games is not actually Kingdom Hearts. Go to the next slide.
Okay.
So to talk about actual Kingdom Hearts, we're going to start with how we're reaching it. So you need the Keyblade, which is the Keyblade or the Kai Blade, because Square Enix hates you. And that is made with 7 pure lights and it's 7 parts of light and 13 parts of darkness. Later we're going to talk about the Champions of Light, who are going to represent the princesses instead of using the princesses for Xehanort's plans. But just so, you need to know going into this, that's how it is made before we talk about what Xehanort is trying to do, because he does stupid things sometimes. Because he's dumb. So, moving on. The other Kingdom Hearts were these two dumbasses just basically duct taping together a bunch of random shit and being like, this is definitely Kingdom Hearts, it's fine, it'll work, I promise. Go ahead. So we have the one that you're most familiar with, the one that was in the cover of the first game, Kingdom Hearts 2, Above the World That Never Was. It is a collection of hearts. By definition, Kingdom Hearts is a large collection of hearts that form a single entity. The natural occurring one is the true one. This was a forced false facsimile. This is closer to the true Kingdom Hearts than the one from the first game, but only by this much. And it's just a bunch of people hearts that Xemnas was like, this will totally work, I promise. Also, they were going to use it to become complete people, and that's not lying, because they definitely believed that at some point based off the timeline, but at some point, Old Man Nort was like, no guys, you don't understand, this is my Horcrux machine, it's totally going to work. I will get that in a minute too. You in the back, you can sit down, there are lots of seats in the middle and towards the front, especially over there, so don't be shy, don't feel bad. Next.
Never feel shy.
And as I was saying, so we have the big door in the abyss, the door to darkness. This is just a confusing mess. Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, basically made it. It's a door into the realm of darkness. And he basically shivved a bunch of whole worlds and let those hearts compile into a Kingdom Hearts of world hearts. And that was supposed to be behind the door, and he was like, it's gonna be darkness. And then he was wrong, and that was stupid, and I don't know why he thought that. But this is some basic shit. So next, the state of the world. Okay, this is important to talk about when we get to Key, which will be towards the end, but we're going to talk it here first, because I didn't finish rearranging the slides in an order that makes sense. But Kairi's grandmother's story, super important to the overarching plot of things that are going to happen in 3. That's why they keep replaying it in random parts of the game. the idea is that the world was made of a smaller, disconnected world, which you're familiar with, you understand that, but it used to be one big world. The misconception here is that that one big continuous world, the vernacular and terminology used in the Age of Fairy Tales, which was the time when the world was one world, there's a capital W world and a lowercase w, and they kind of use lowercase w world to refer to countries. Like, you can walk from Land of Dragons to Beast Castle, but they still refer to them as different worlds in the game, and it really throws people off from that cover. So that is a thing to clear up. Okay, next. Okay, some more basic shit. But it's a very technical diagram, guys. So if you don't know by now the process of heartlesses and nobodies, you have a person, they get hit by a heartless. Their heart gets covered in darkness, and that heart becomes a heartless. Their body, if it had a strong heart, stays existing and becomes a nobody and develops its own heart later. Next, talking about heartless. They're poorly named. They're so poorly named because they're literally made of hearts. They don't lack hearts. They have hearts. Ansem was just drunk when he decided. Science was drunk when he decided it. He was the one who named them. It's his fault. So they're made of people hearts. Key point. It's a pun. Key point. Get it? Okay. No. The heartless with the emblems. This is a fact that flies under the radar a lot. Anything with the heartless emblem on it was artificially made by Team Science. That is Team Science. They're the people from Radiant Garden who became the beginning of Organization 13. Baby Enzo and Evan and Science, those guys, those assholes. They artificially created anything. So when you see Heartless and Key that have the Heartless emblem on them, that's a red flag because those didn't get created until their time period. So that obviously is like a sign there's something weird going on timey-wimey with Key, which we'll talk about in a minute, but just keep that in mind that is a thing that Nomura uses to mess with you. Next. No, they don't have hearts until they do. And yes, Metamics, I'm very mad about you having hearts. I'm quite salty about that. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to play Dream Drop Distance, it's revealed that they've always had hearts. They were just lied to. They were straight up lied to make them more depressed, to like psychologically manipulate them into helping them with Organization 13 stuff. And they all grew hearts, they all had feelings. That's why Lee and Roxas were able to become friends and why Syac seems like he's constantly PMSing. So, yeah, nobodies do not have a heart at the beginning of their existence, which is why Roxas and Shion both seemed zombie-like at the beginning of their stories, but then, produce real feelings later. Yeah, nobodies, they're easy. Okay, more basic shit. You have to do the basic shit just in case there's people out there who don't know it. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, Unburst! Yay! Yay!
No.
It's so much easier.
I'm gonna make you all sad now. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you're cool. So, who here's read any of the Birth by Sleep light novels or even know that they exist and know about the chapter contrast? Okay, you know where this is going then. Every time you hit an Unburst, Vanitas feels it. Every time an Unburst dies, it flows back into Vanitas and he feels the pain of death.
What?
Yes.
That explains a lot about that little boy.
It's really messed up. He's dealt with. Go ahead and sit down, you're good.
Come on in, guys.
Your time, we have seats.
There are seats to be had.
My microphone's right. Okay, cool.
Yes?
Oh God, how many of you are there?
Yes, he did. Oh, I was about to go into that. Yeah, canon self-harm tendencies, guys. The stuff in that novel is not rated E for everyone. I am fairly certain Nomura just shoved it there because he knew Disney wouldn't let them put it in the game. He hurts the Unburst on purpose to hurt himself. There's the severe child abuse where like literally Xehanort just like leaves him on the land of on the Badlands and to like fend for himself, and then shows up and then just beats the shit out of him until he literally is crying on the floor and can't move. It's some messed up stuff. So for those of you who thought Vanitas was a flat character, consider that and feel sorry for him, because he needs hugs and cake.
I still don't.
And this is the kids' game! Square! The magic of Disney! Okay. That's Umbers. Dream Eaters are a mess right now because of Key and that cover having just come out. We were originally told that they're just things in the realm of sleep that exist, but the Master of Masters created them, and most likely also created the nightmares as well. So that's, but other than Charity, they're not really like a big like plot deal. They're just Pokemon, so we're good. Okay, next. So, Sora, let's talk about you. So there are 6.5 Soras. There is Ben, who is technically the original Sora, who's even more confusing than we thought because of recent developments in the Japanese version of Unchained Key, where he was in the era of fairy tales, which is what this guy is cosplaying from, and why they don't have the cross from Master Ericus or the armor, because he got those from there. In obscurity. There's Vanitas. Hi. I'm the most straightforward. I'm just his dark hat. I think that's the easiest one. Then there's Sora, who's actually just some kid. Nomura goes out of his way to express in interviews that Sora is just some random asshole. Like, he just tripped into the plot, accidentally stole his boyfriend's Keyblade. You're going to have to deal with shipping comments, but I ship literally everyone, so I mean, it'll be all over the place. Everyone is everyone else's boy and or girlfriend. So, yeah, and then there's Roxas, who is his nobody, which you understand. Shion, who is Sora's clone. Some people think she's Roxas's clone. She is a clone of Sora because they were trying to replicate the power to use the Keyblade, made around the same time as the Riku replica in Castle Oblivion, yada yada. She's getting her own side in that. I don't want to talk about this now. AI Sora and Naminé. Let's go so I can talk about the individual stuff. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Ventus Vanitas. Yes, that is awesome. It's hard to see, but there's duct tape with like safety pins on there. Next. So, okay. A lot of people ask why Vanitas looks like Sora. It's actually because of that scene at the beginning where Heart is touching Ventus's. That's Sora's heart, which was in an interview stated to be Sora before he was born, which is actually slightly different in the American version because they didn't want to offend pro-life people, believe it or not. Yeah, so when he filled in that half of that heart, that's the half that Vanitas used to be. So Vanitas didn't have a face until then. This is all stuff from the novel. Vanitas' face turned into that of Sora's. And he was like, oh, he suddenly had the boy's face only with the black hair and the golden darkness eyes. But side note, I don't think this is it anywhere. For those of you who think that the gold eyes has to do with Xehanort, that is not. You're not wrong, but you're also not entirely right. It is a sign of darkness. It is a thing that Square Enix has done in a lot of their games, and they're consistent about it, since a lot of Final Fantasy games have a similar thing. Vanitas proves that it is just darkness that causes yellow eyes, so having yellow eyes does not automatically make you possessed by Xehanort. It just means that you done goofed with some darkness. To clarify that, because that causes some issues sometimes. But yeah, and Ventus is kind of dead for a while. Because cutting people in half is a bad idea. Go ahead, do next.
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah. Also, yeah, a 1-1 of light-darkness ratio is not a diddly damn 7-13 ratio, so old man needs to go figure out how to do math again.
Had a bit of a senile moment there, I think.
But as we learned with Ven's things with Key, and that being a whole thing with him in the Age of Fairy Tales, it might be because Ven was never human to begin with, and so that's why Xehanort chose him and did weird things to him and assumed things like, oh yeah, cutting him in half will totally survive this. Because that's not a thing normally.
Because that's how logic works.
So, yeah, because normally when you show someone the Keyblade, it turns into really damn heartless. So the fact that he produced a Vanitas instead of a heartless is weird. Next.
Best friend code.
Kim Possible, you need to go save the world. Yeah, so Ben takes a nap, his heart joins the Sora Heart Party, which is a very technical term. Sora just is like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm a random 4-year-old and I totally got this. The only special thing about Sora is his like extra friendship allows him to harbor Ben's heart before like he even functions as a human being. Okay, so next. So skipping to Roxas, like I said, pretty straightforward. He Sora's nobody. His life does suck a lot, and we will talk about that eventually. Days was just a depressing game that makes you cry. And of course he's born when Sora shoots himself. That one scene after that boss fight that everyone hates. Say it with me, guys. Kyrie, open your eyes. It's no use. That girl has lost her heart. She can. I still have it memories, guys. I was stuck on a phone with my mom. It's a really. It's bad. I was like 12. Okay. Next. So for those of you who know Tales of the Abyss, enjoy that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. It's important to me. So Shion is a clone of Sora. She has some weird stuff going on. For those of you who are confused by the things that go on at the end of that game, she looks like the incarnation of Sora, or the person connected to Sora, that the person was closest to or recognizes the most. So Zigbar, who spent the most time harassing Ven and the Wayfinders, sees Ventus whenever he looks at her, and it like he just gets fucking shook every time.
Freaks him out.
And like Science doesn't see anyone.
And Science doesn't see anyone because he's a salty bitch. I'm sorry to any Science fans. I do love him dearly. I just,
Hate him too.
Yeah.
It's fun to make fun of.
So the reason she looks like Kyrie is because she basically omnommed Sora's memories of Kyrie when his memories got like super wrecked by everybody, by you. I know.
Hi guys.
I mean, it was on purpose. It just was because Marluxia was being a dick. So anyway, I love Marluxia. I appreciate this. He's a beautiful, beautiful, flowery.
You are an amazing human being.
But anyway, she wound up with those memories inside of her, and like they leaked into Roxas when he looked at her, which is what gave the image of Kyrie. And because of Roxas's bond to Lee and all of that, it like got passed on to him. So because you notice in the beginning he doesn't see anyone either, and eventually he starts seeing Shion as Shion. And then that just kind of becomes her own, like she starts seeing herself as that as her identity solidifies, so it becomes easier for other people to start recognizing that as what they see, especially people who are like not an asshole like Syax but don't have anything else to associate, like say Denix probably sees Shion eventually as like actually her. We just don't see a lot of stuff from his perspective because it's not his game. So anyway, moving on. I forgot I put 2 slides for her. So, yeah, she dies because Sora needs those memories to not die also. And, like, she basically, like, resigned. Like, it's a fucked up situation. Like, there's nothing nice about this game. Why is this game rated E for everyone? I don't understand. Like,
Because you're digging too deep.
no, I'm not! It's on the surface that they're making a character, like, basically commit suicide.
I know, I'm joking.
I know. Oh, I'm sorry. For those who don't know me, I do have a bad habit of, if anyone says something sarcastic, I, like, keep acting as if it was completely seriously.
It goes
like a
over
double
your
layer
head.
of Inception sarcasm.
Yes, over the spikes. All the spikes.
Anyway, so next. So Dinosaur is his own person. He is different, I promise. He has his own personality. He's like an adorable little AI. I kind of like him more than normal Sora. Sorry, Sora. Because he's just so precious. And he exists in the Datascape, which is something very similar to the Book of Prophecies, which is probably going to be a problem later. So he's one of our various Soras, but the most separate and least confused one, I think. Next. And then Nominate. Yes, Nominate is half Sora. If you read the Ansem reports in Kingdom Hearts 2, he very explicitly states that she was born from Kairi's heart leaving Sora's body during that one time. So basically, she's like their illegitimate nobody child. And Roxas is like her awkward half-brother, so maybe you should stop trying to date him. I mean, you know.
Just a thought.
But anyway, so yeah, and that's the reason why she's specific, because her memory powers are specifically over Sora and those connected to her, or to him, sorry. And that's why, is because she came from part of Sora, even though she was technically Kairi's nobody, but she had no, like, because Kairi's body was there, like, it's a mess. It's just a mess. She's a special nobody. It's a hot mess. Like, even Ansem is like, this is stupid and confusing, and I'm like, you and me both, bro.
Hi, guys.
But yeah, also she's super OP, guys. Like, I just want you to know that by all technicalities, it's anyone Sora has a connection to in his heart. So, like, yeah, think of all, yeah, basically anyone, like, if she came back, she could probably just floor Xehanort. Like, he tried to possess him, so, oh, yes, you in the back?
I want to know, did you purposely spell it as memory power? Please say that.
I don't remember because I made this over a year ago, but probably. It is now.
Nimrod.
There are lots of things purposely misspelled in here. I don't know if that's one of them. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic, so I wouldn't have noticed.
If I didn't fix it, it's probably intentional.
Yes.
I'm
That's
spell
right.
check.
You did spell check this, so it's their fault.
It's their fault.
God then. You can't even spell things. So anyway, but yeah, so going forward. So yes. So actual Sora. So this is the heart party. This is Dream Drop Distance, where for some reason that data Ansem is there and Sora shows, or Riku shows up 15 minutes late with Starbucks and is really confused. Like that's the end of Dream Drop Distance. So next. So yes, so Sora, he is full of friendship. He will be your bro and he gets shit done. He is your protagonist. You all know and love him. That spiky-haired adorable dork. But next. Yeah, he's not very smart. Like Riku, even his boyfriend though is just like Sora's kind of stupid, but that's okay. That's why I'm trying to fix his problems. And even Josh was just like, yeah, I'm sorry. But like, and I just want you, if you haven't seen Dream Drop Distance, this is one of my favorite cutscenes in the entire game, where he's getting arrested and his response is, "That is so unfriendly." This boy. There are armed guards carting you off. Yeah. Again, he's don't remember, just some guy, like I said, Nomura is really big on pointing that out, and his friendship powers are, he only can, has, like, because of his connection to Ventus, that's how he inherited the power to use the Keyblade, and then he accidentally stole Riku's, because stupid things happened, and they were both dumb.
Bullshit plot reasons.
Huh? No, it's not the power group. It's very specifically that moment where, because Nomura actually did an in-depth analysis of the scene explaining it because people kept being mad about it, and he was finally like, God, fine. But the scene where they're reaching out for each other as the darkness is swallowing Riku and the light appears and that's the Kingdom Key, it's actually not even the Kingdom Key leaving Riku because of the darkness. Because if you think about that, that logic doesn't make sense. Xehanort still has a Keyblade. He's like all of the darkness. Vanitas has a Keyblade. He's literally just darkness. That whole like, oh, the darkness made the Keyblade leave you thing, like, no. It was basically like a subconscious like bond and wanting to protect his friend and like keep everyone together, because Sora, like, it was like the wanting Sora to be safe and with him ironically manifested in the Keyblade pushing him away and keeping him from going through the darkness also. So yeah, yes.
Did it have nothing to do with the fact that the Kingdom Key is the Keyblade from the realm of light, and the Key is the one that has a heart full of light or not?
Most Keyblades are actually from the realm of light.
Well, no, the fact that it matches the Kingdom Key D.
Right, yes.
I think the Kingdom Key D manifested in that shape because this is a very confusing topic that hasn't been fully solved because I personally am always assumed that it took the shape of the Kingdom Key because of Ven and that being part of the Keyblade.
Right.
But according to the interviews with Nomura, that didn't seem to be the case and that didn't make sense to me. So I was like, yes? Yes. Well, now he'll probably keep it. Like, I'm on team, I kind of want Sora to lose his Keyblade for a while in Kingdom Hearts 3 and have to deal with that because I'm a bad person. But, and then like earn it himself, but that probably won't happen because game mechanics. Bring back the wooden sword! So that's, no, it doesn't have any, it does, it's not that it has a connection to the Kingdom Key D, it's that the Kingdom Key D would have a connection to it because of when they manifested, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, onward. So, Sora makes poor life choices, and he is not a heart full of light. That's another thing that I'm about to get into. He's not pure of heart. That's just wrong. That is a lie that Disney is telling you so that it can pretend that its game is happy. He very blatantly does things in Kingdom Hearts 2, like antagonizing the organization after like killing Demyx and being like, oh, who wants to be next? Like, that's not a light thing to do. That's bad. That's like messed up. Like,
Didn't you think Goofy was dead though? Like at that time?
Well, yeah, but still.
Goofy got hit by a rock from like random Heartless.
But he thought he was dead. Like that's.
No, he didn't. He was in your party during that fight. It's right after that happened.
We're trying to get shit done.
It's right after Donald scolds him about saying that Donald gets hit. Yeah, so it's actually, he didn't think he was owning it. He was just being angry. Like, super salty. Also, anti-form is a thing, like, it proves that he has darkness in his heart, because what anti-form is him reverting to his heartless form, because, friendly reminder, he didn't, like, re-merge with Roxas to stop being a heartless, he just kind of got better. Like, he was technically non-corporeal through most of Traded Memories. It's weird, but, like, Nomura has been like, oh yeah, no, that wasn't the thing, because Roxas was his body. So, it's, yeah, that's like,
Kyrie just kind of helped him better for a while.
Deus Ex Kyrie happened. Yeah? Yeah, exactly. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. So that's super sketchy. He obviously has darkness. One of the big things that hint towards this is actually in Dream Drop Distance, where they love foreshadowing with mechanics at Square. And you subtly start getting abilities that are dark moves only for Sora. Because like I got one and I was like, oh, this is supposed to be for Riku, and I was like, what? That doesn't make sense. What? But then the end of Dream Drop Distance happened and it did. But yeah, he gets pretty solidly Norded, and to drive this home too is at the end of 0.2 where Yensid just rips him a new one. Sora's almost crying because he's like, so Sora, you lost all your power, gave into darkness, almost got possessed. How are you feeling? Shitty, right? Yeah. Why don't you go trade in Coliseum Land? And more on that later. So next. So talking about Dream Drop Distance, which is a very confusing game for many reasons. Next slide. Pass the media slide. Sora Riku's excellent adventure. So they have to go back in time to get into the realm of sleep because of how it works. The realm of sleep is not temporally stable because of how close it is to the realm of darkness. It actually might be a part of the realm of darkness, but we're not given a lot of information on it because Nomura doesn't like telling you things. So that's that. Those are screenshots proving the things that I just said. Next. So this is the Xehanort timeline. Next. We're going to talk about that later. So, because we have some other things to talk about first. So that's the confusing stuff. All right, next. This is stuff you wanted to hear about. This is the confusing things. So this is how the timeline. I did a lot of research trying to figure this out. Even I was confused by this. They start off in Yensid's tower. They're put to sleep. They're sent back to time. They go to the realm of sleep. Riku winds up in Sora's dreams because of his gayness. And the Nords steal Sora because Sora's bad at life right now and is just being dumb. Like, he's just... So just tries to explain how computers work at one point, and he's just sitting there like, no, I can friendship speech it. So I'm just like, no, please listen, I'm not even trying to like do something to you right now, I'm trying to help. This is really sad. You're defending me with how stupid you are. So yes, so that is how these are the dream layers, and the real layers, and they wind up in the actual world that never was by the end of this. And because they came out not how they were supposed to, they retained their dreamlike forms, which is why they're still small, because they don't really explain that very well, but that is what happened. Okay, next. But why would you even do that? Because Keyblades. So Zigbar here gives the shortest, most concise exposition in Square Enix history. Like, I wanted to cry after he said that. I was so confused. Not by what he said, but by how fast he said it. And that's Xehanort's plans are to round up a bunch of empty husks, hook them up to Kingdom Hearts, fill them with the same exact heart and mind, aka turn them all into Xehanorts. Which is Xehanort trying to get 13 Darknesses via Horcrux clone bullshit to, because he's still cheating. He didn't learn his lesson from before. He's like, I need 13 Darknesses. How can I like be lazy about this? This is the equivalent of him like sitting on the couch and like poking at the remote with a back scratcher to try and get it closer to him, but with like science. So that's what he's trying to do, and the book Why Sora is very clearly explained by Baby Nort. I also find this to be one of the 3 sickest burns in Kingdom Hearts, right after Auron's burn and Ven's burn. I think you all know Ven's burn. We're not going to talk about that right now. So
Mr. House burns.
Shut up! And but yeah, no, they're like, well, Riku basically stat dumped everything into Darknessville saves after that one time, so we can't use him anymore. There's this other kid, he's fine. Let's just use him. It's fine. It's totally fine. It'll be okay, maybe. So next, and then there's Xehanort. There's a lot of Xehanort. This is the chart of Nort explaining the progression. The squiggly lines, we know that these two down here are half possessed by him. They still retain a lot of their autonomy, but they have the golden eyes and the pointed ears and the slow morphing. And we know Luxord and Vanitas are confirmed Seekers of Darkness. We will talk about that when we get to the chest slides. I promise you, they're very confirmed. If you've seen the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, then you know this. And so that's squiggly lines of confusion because it's like, well, I guess they're possessed or something, but we just know that they're going to show up in Kingdom Hearts 3 staff things. So next. So to clarify, the time traveling Baby Nort that we're used to is not the same as the Baby Nort on the island. He doesn't retain his memories. So this Baby Nort is like super in on the plot and knows all the things and is probably kind of depressed because he's like, man, I lose all my hair. But then there's just, but I want to get off my island and learn things and do science. He's like a cross between like Moana and Milo Thatch from Atlantis. That's what's going on there. And then a bunch of stuff happens, and he eventually becomes old. You can find out about some of his life in the secret reports in Birth by Sleep. They're not very helpful tidbits, but you do learn a very little bit about, like, you know, his fight with Ericus and his time training and leaving and stuff like that. Yes, and he's talking to himself and he has no idea. So next. Xehanort possesses a lot of people. BBS happens. Terra gets wrecked. My poor boy. Poor senpai. Terra is senpai, accept this. The problem being that things. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
You understand.
So, anyway, Xehanort's plans go awry because he finds out that Ericus did something to help, like, heighten Terra's, like, will saves against possession, basically, but it doesn't really stop him from possessing him. It just stops the control, and, like, those weird things are happening where, like, possessed Terranort is just, like, super messed up, and he's like, who am I? What's going on? So
My name is Xehanort.
That's noises.
yes. Next. So Xehanort is a mystery. He does not know who he is. Sometimes he thinks he's Xehanort. Sometimes he says he's Ansem. We don't know if he's what percent Terra and what percent Xehanort he is. It is a problem. Next. So he has his own heart party because he has Terra and Xehanort. He is thoroughly his own entity, probably, you know, doing science, taking care of a baby, and so, you know, fun things. Isn't that cute? Exactly. But wait, if Terra's here and Xehanort's here, then who's driving the body? That is the question, isn't it? So because they basically bonded to perfect equilibrium and not able to control the body, it started developing its own personality. This is actually known, it's a real thing called associative amnesia, where basically when you get amnesia, the memories of post the amnesia exist for so long that they develop into their own personality. They can't mesh back with the old memories. It's actually also similar to things that happen with Sora's, surprisingly. It's the same concept as to why Domine couldn't let him keep his memories of Castle Oblivion, if that helps explain the
Should we be
concept.
surprised by anything at this point?
No. Yes.
Is it, suggest that after he re-emergence with Dorkness, with Sora and Yushiro fighting on the same or mentions that he has to think Domine, so that would suggest that he unlocked his memories?
No.
Oh, that's the lingering will. That's different. Oh, the final boss?
No, the
But he
thinking
had a-
nominee was written in Genesis.
Oh, it was written in Japanese journal, yes.
So he has no idea who nominee is.
No, I know what you're talking about.
I can't hear very well.
Oh, I can't. He's asking about Sora saying he has to thank Domine in that one, but one that's only in Final Mix. It could imply that he does regain some of those memories or some part of them, but he definitely does not have all of them because I'm pretty sure if he like woke up and remembered how much of an asshole he was to all of his friends during that one time where he was like, Riku hates me and my girlfriend is being held captive by some flower guy. Like, screw you, you stupid talking duck. I have to go save people. God. Like, he was mean. Like, he would not be happy. I also think he'd like look at like the next time he met Lee and be like, boy.
Oops.
But yeah, so that's where Science Snore is. He's probably his own entity that eventually click next. This is one of the biggest mysteries of the franchise right now. This period in time is not talked about a lot, but we get little snippets. What we know is he eventually goes insane, shivs everyone, including the 8-year-old. Going through puberty as a nobody must have been terrible. And like obviously it's not like what like even Ziglar's like this isn't what you know the actual Xehanort told me was going to happen. He's confused and he says my name's not Xehanort, it's Ansem. He basically went insane and thought he actually was Ansem because he was having too much of an identity crisis. But some of this is more in the speculation than the I can give you concrete lore category of things. I will say that because but if you piece the cutscenes together that go with this era, that's basically the message that you get.
But nobody knows.
But nobody knows. So yeah, next. He has too many names, aka he who was voiced by Richard Epcar, and formerly voiced by Billy Zane. I mean, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness is straightforward. He's a Heartless. He has this ridiculous JoJo pose artwork that I have no idea why this exists. It confuses me. Because JoJo, yeah, but why is Ansem a JoJo? Is his Heartless,
Why not?
is the Guardian a Stan?
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
But anyway, we know this. This is easy. We know who this is. He was Mr. Rogue Guy who possessed Riku. It was the worst boss fight in the entire world. Yeah. Next. Xemnas is a problem child. Here's the thing about Xemnas. You gotta get into some weird semantics. You have Terra's body, who is possessed by Xehanort, who seemingly loses its memory and becomes its own person. And then it gets turned into a nobody and a heartless. But the nobody is the body left behind. So if that body left behind is Terra's body, who is Xemnas? It's Terra. So now he's very likely like not 100% Terra or 100% Xehanort. He probably has a weird mix. And actually, if you go back and look through some cutscenes, he might actually suffer from pure DID, switching between personalities of Terra and Xehanort separately, or having some kind of a weird conglomeration of the two's impulses that he doesn't understand, which is why you see things like him talking to Aqua's armor and calling it friend, because that's the piece that's Terra, but then he does sketchy things like lie to all of the organization members and be mean.
Which are not Terra things.
Which are not Terra things. Yes?
So which part is dating science?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the question.
This is the question of the era. No, I have to say yes, because I think based off of our shitty fanfiction, it is actually both.
Is yes the correct answer? Ding ding ding, we have a winner!
So yes, he's a very special nobody because of how he was created, and the closest precedent, he's actually most closely related to, like, creation-wise, to Naminé, because of the idea of him being created by other people's hearts leaving someone else's body. So yeah, he's a special snowflake. He's probably nicer on the inside than he lets on, which actually, a lot of his, because it's played up in Kingdom Hearts 2, like his very expressiveness and stuff, is like supposed to be him like acting or pretending or trying to get sort of make him feel bad for him, and it's like, no, he actually is just sad. That kicked puppy face is real, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know,
I
maybe it might
love
not
the
be.
kicked puppy face though.
Alright, so next. So when you kill both of those guys, you get a Xehanort. That's what Jensen said. So it's law. Yet things Jensen said aren't actually law, but we know this happened because of Dreamville. So next, and so now we're actually talking about the timeline. I'm going to use Wayward Wind to point at. No, I'm not, because it's under the wires. Okay. It's lighter, guys.
Defended my Keyblade.
Shut up. Okay, so the timeline starts with Baby Nort, obviously. Back 60 years when he was a wee boy on an island singing Dixie.
I messed
You
it up.
messed it up. You ruined everything.
That's why.
You summoned the termites that I
It wouldn't be a panel if I didn't
Mess something up.
Here, use the white one.
Fine.
It
God.
fixed it.
Okay. This is much easier to hold.
Yes.
This is so
That
good.
would.
So yeah, so you have Baby Nort, and yeah, like I said, singing the secret to Samura's Island, Mr. Rogue Guy, who is the base form of Ansem's Xehanort's Heartless, because Heartless shouldn't have like his human form only can manifest when he's possessing people, basically, because he weak sauce. What? That is so much easier, guys.
I'm sure.
So yes. So basically, this is Ansem, this is Baby Nort, and he's like, hey Tiny Me, you want to go on a magical adventure through time and do time things? And he's like, I guess so. But also it's full of darkness. And then Birth by Sleep happens about 10 years later. He possesses Terra, science sort thing happens that creates Zemnis, and this, which goes back here. He stays on the island for 60 diddly damn years. Just chilling in that, messing with kids throughout the ages. Until he says cryptic things to Sora at the beginning of KH1, and then during Dream Drop, yanks him out of the entrance exam, or you know what I meant, Mark Master exam, and Riku winds up in his head, and it's just a mess. So yeah, Northvention yanks Sora from his time traveling into a darker part of things. The rest of the timeline is pretty straightforward because Ancient Seeker of Darkness possesses Riku, then he gets beat, and then Zemnis gets beat, and then Master North's back, and like that's the beginning of page 3 and the end of the thing. So that is the timeline. These are color-coded quotes from the cutscene where they explain that, matching up with the lines.
Come on, Wendy.
That, oh, hi Wendy! Did you bring me any nuggets or fries?
You think so?
Okay, that's okay, thank you. But yes. So there is actually a slight translation error in the English version of this cutscene that makes it way more confusing. And it's not really an error, they changed it for lip flaps. But it changed the meaning of what he was saying too much. Because the Japanese reads less concretely. It makes sense. But this is it. Squall is not happy. Neither is Tom.
When is Squall ever happy?
What?
That is a good question.
That is a good question.
That one time for like 3 seconds.
Thank you.
I mean, like, that's like asking, like...
When is Riku not angsty?
No, he's not angsty sometimes. I was trying to think of, like, a better metaphor than I heard. Anyway, next.
When is the sun not a burning ball of gas?
There you go. Yeah, Riku's more straightforward, but he gets a slide because I like him. Well, all of the characters got a slide. This is the actual reason, but, the beginning of it's straightforward. You got Repliku. Down here is a problem area. It became a lot more straightforward with the help of some of the later games, but at first, that era where he was Elsa Riku, it was just a mess. So the one with blindfold. For those of you who were not here for my like stupid shitpost comment, is the blindfold is conceal, don't seal. Yeah. Yeah, and his. Okay, Dominic. So anyway, he does actually break. That is a cast, and he breaks his wrists. The question has been revealed and answered by Nomura. He broke his wrist fighting Roxas, and that will explain in the next slide. If you'll click next. I lied. The slide after this one. Yeah, like he makes a lot of sketchy choices, but at least he learned from them after the time he got possessed. But yeah, he gets a Keyblade from Terra. Like he's not wrong. It's his Keyblade. He's just being an asshole about it. And then this stuff. Okay, next. Okay, here we go. That is the wrist breaking moment in question. Roxas slashes at him at his wrist while he's fighting. He doesn't break his shield up fast enough, and it hits right here and he goes flying back. That's when he breaks his wrist. Yeah, he has to capture Roxas. Y'all know that, and so he has to join the Angst party of Anthem Time because Roxas is a badass, guys. Like,
Amen.
there's no Riku for me to harass and make fun of about the fact that they lost to all of the Roxases in the room. It makes me sad. Next. Yeah, Dance of Kingdom Hearts. No, straight up, like, this is, people talk about, like, plot holes or MacGuffins and stuff in Kingdom Hearts. This is the biggest one, in my opinion. Like, beyond anything else, it's just like, oh, I got better. Blows up a thing, Riku is just magically fine. That's how it happened. Next. Yeah, Kairi does have some screen time sometimes. She is secretly really important. Oh, I mean, not even secretly. She's the Princess of Heartman. Like, that's important. The big things to know though is that she used to live in Radiant Garden, and that means she actually would have ties and possibly played a part in things that happened during that mess with Xehanort and Science Nort, and all of that, and was probably this line where Axel says, I feel like we're friends already. Like, straight up, they were probably friends when they were kids, yes.
Okay, so the necklace that Kyrie wears in Birth by Sleep is the same necklace that she's wearing all the time. It's the same necklace that Aqua blessed.
Yes.
Don't you think that's probably what kept her safe?
Oh, it is.
Okay, cool.
Oh no, that's 100% what got her to the island safe. Because like straight in one of the reports, Ansem is like, this is my Keyblade detector. I'm just going to throw this child into the darkness and she'll find a Keyblade. And I guess it did, but like no, that's straight up what he did. This guy. But yeah, she was probably friends with Lee and like Tiny Enzo because like they were the same age. And so like, can you just imagine like Tiny Kairi making little flower crowns for baby Enzo?
That actually sounds really cute.
I know! I have happened fan over that. Anyway, but yes, and that's my little what if, like, if she had stayed in Radiant Garden, maybe she just would have joined Team Science and she would have been a creepy scientist like the rest of them. So next, Kairi's Keyblade. Okay, so she got her Keyblade from Aqua accidentally passing the power to her during that exact moment. Which seems so skeevy, but that is the official statement. That is what happened. So that's how she got the ability to wield one. I have no idea how Riku got that like weird flowery thing and then like gave it to her. Yes?
Alpha at one point Birth by Sleep, but then used this and that keep it right there.
That is true.
That's her like final weapon, isn't it?
Is it her? No, her final weapon is Rainfall. Rainfell. But anyway, the point is, that's how she gets the ability to use it, then she gets that, and shows up, I'd say 15 minutes late to master training, but it's more like, 15 years, like actually literally, that's how long it's been since the first game came out, but she's gonna do things in 3, it'll be great, guys. Okay, next.
When 3 comes out.
Amen. Yeah.
Also, just in case you didn't catch that is Deadpool, and he is a canonic Keyblade wielder in one of the Marvel games.
Oh god.
Deadpool, no ash, 7.
Yes?
I mean, we all see them have a Keyblade.
Yeah, but Ericus and Xehanort.
Oh,
Riku and Mickey.
but they were going to promote both Riku and Sora. It's just that Sora failed really hard because he got wrecked. But he doesn't know that then. He doesn't know the word that he's saying.
Well, Xehanort
Because Ansem and Maleficent were like, you're a Keyblade master, if you look how fancy you are, you should totally hate your friend. Because Dorkness, that's why. That's what happened.
So when anything goes wrong,
I mean, you
Basically.
Well, I think whenever anything goes wrong, it's Xehanort's fault. It's not necessarily specifically Darkness. Yes? Okay. Actually, Deadpool is the master of masters.
Canonically.
Yes. Oh, I made this panel before Unchained. Like I made this entire PowerPoint.
Don't you see the
Before that.
Badlands in the background there? That's all of us dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We still got 2.9 to break it up, so
Okay. Next. Yes. So Keyblades. Keyblades are. Oh wait. Question? Could who be the trainer? Oh, potentially. Theoretically, yes. We're actually going to talk in depth about that. So you're not wrong. We will get to those slides. Keyblades are weird. We don't really know a lot about them other than this quote. The three families of Keyblades. It should be noted that the Keyblades of Heart would be Keyblades that are part of the Keyblade. Like if you think, because it's supposed to be 7 light and 13 darkness, and that one was made of the 7 princesses of Heart, so that's 7 light, so that's like 1/2 a Keyblade. So I mean, I'm just saying.
1/2 a Keyblade?
1/2 a Keyblade, yes.
I see.
Yes. Because he is Sora.
Yeah.
Yes.
We also take a moment to realize that Lefson got it right, Xehanort failed.
Yes. Yes.
That's sad.
Yes. Yes.
That's how this works.
That is, it's either Xehanort no or Sora no, Sora yes. Like, anyway, the Keyblade is a separate thing, and it's the thing to actually get to Kingdom Hearts. The Keyblades that we use today were just weapons, as you know, if you've played Key, that were made for stabbing people with, honestly. They were weapons of war.
Most
and,
ineffective weapon. Logically.
And it is of my, like, this is technically just a theory, but I mean, I played enough Square Enix and JRPG games to know when something is probably made of people, and that looks like it's made of people, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, because the Keyblade of Hearts is made of 7 people, those are just made of 1 people. Yes. Hello, I'm bad at words. Which is definitely why I should be announcing. But, yeah, so we don't know a lot about Keyblades, but they're obviously an important part of the series, and the fact that there's so much mystery behind them still is super concerning. So, next. Passing the power. You can get a Keyblade one of 3 ways, as officially stated by Nomura. You can get it through the power of succession, with the legit thing. You can get it through inheritance of the deceased, which is sad, and you can get it by being Sora. Through touching the heart of another. That was what Nomura said.
Sora, no. Sora, yes.
Basically, oh, you got it all, that's fine. Okay, so, round of applause for our awesome Gopher friends who helped us set up. Okay.
Oh, it wasn't 11 yet, the last time I checked.
Oh, okay, we're good. Okay, because we're only halfway through. Yeah, oh yeah, no, you're fine. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now we're finally going to talk about keys, which is probably what most of you came here for. Key is actually important. This is an older slide that I made when the browser key was the only one that came out, and Kingdom Hearts UX, the cell phone version, hadn't even been released yet. But it is still a good basis of we know about Xehanort No Name came from here, and there's Cherokee is a Dream Eater, what's up with that, and the Foretellers, the Prophecy, and there's some sketchy stuff. Okay, so next. Starting with the Japanese version of the game. Meanwhile, in Japan, everything is terrible and things are definitely rated E. Yeah, you died. You just died. You see a light and then Skuld walks up and you're like a goddess, and then Ephemera takes your hand and you fade away to white. It's like what? It might be hard to see super far away, but like all those little white specks in the background that are floating, those are hearts of dead people who are dying because they're stabbing each other with keyblades. So yes, it stabs you and it unlocks your death. And I don't know how much of this text you can read, but it's really dark. Like, there's no time to think about the meaning of this battle. No matter how hopeless the situation might be, people want to believe in their last thread of hope, their dreams until the very end. You say as you watch your friends die, fighting for stupid things. And it was not a grotesque monster like what I had encountered up till now. No, the enemies that stood before me are my friends. Yeah, yeah. It's some messed up stuff. Like, and all of the dialogue around that time is really dark and really sad. What you need to know about the browser version is, yes, you die. There's a really important cutscene towards the end with Master Ava and Lucio. We will get to that in a moment. So next, we're running how, I mentioned this before, Age of Fairy Tales and the worlds being connected. I forgot to put this slide in here. I'm sorry, I mentioned earlier. You already said about that, where the worlds are still called worlds, because he says worlds, but they're connected. You can walk there. Yep, okay, next. Okay, so the foretellers. Yeah, they're an interesting bunch. You have, oh, and of course you have the Master of Masters, who is definitely actually Deadpool. Let's look at him. I tried to find the picture of him where he's going like this, but I couldn't. I didn't feel like it was a good job. Anyway, all of their names are based off of the 7 sins. This is alarming because of reasons that should be obvious. Huh?
I feel those are so backwards reading them.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm about to say. It seems like they're named after the opposite of the sin that they have, because Ascend has no chill. He can't stop. He has no chill. Like, Ava isn't greedy. She's like completely self-sacrificing. You know, so on and so forth. Like, Envy's the only one who isn't salty about like having a weird like back position role working for other people. Mm-hmm. Her name is Envy. Well, because their names are the Latin for the sin. So, yes?
I just kind of thought, what if it's like the darkness kind of counterpart, like that counter?
Ooh, I like that. Mm-hmm. For those of you who cannot hear Nominate down there, because I realized several of you are in the back, she is talking about how it might represent like the darkness counterpart to them. And because also those are the names the Master of Masters specifically gave them. So like, you know, he's doing something weird, yes?
I still think the Master of Masters is the traitor.
We are getting to that slide. Oh, but yes, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. But yes, and the Master of Masters, we don't have his official name, but based off of the pattern, it's probably Superbia or something similar. Some people are worried about that because it's very similar to Superior, which is Zemnis, and everyone's like, and I'm like, chill. Yeah, Lucius just sitting in the corner, like, not doing anything, with a box that we don't know. Like, Ben is probably in that box. We'll talk about that. Yeah, he is. And yeah, you've all seen back cover, so alright, next.
Jill has a question.
Oh, who has a question? Yeah.
Just like, I know some people have theorized that the mission in Twilight Town.
Yes, I agree with that entirely. I forgot to mention that. Thank you. The Twilight Town mansion is covered in unicorns, and a lot of people are like, is this like Ira's house? Did Ansem steal Ira's house? Okay, next. Okay, but we don't even know who's the traitor yet. You in the back, I will explain why I was agreeing with you before. Okay, so it is Ava. Ava is the traitor. Now, to specify, she is one of the traitors, and that is where things get tricky. If you pick, if you pay attention to the dialogue in key and the original, or in back cover in the original Japanese key, you'll notice that the criteria and definition of what the traitor is very different to different people. So there's three major categories of what the traitor is and who they're looking for. There is the traitor that they are referring to who produced the Black Chirithy. That is the one that you see in back cover. That has nothing to do with the Lost Page. Literally nothing. The Lost Page doesn't mention anything about darkness or Chirithys or any of that. They're unrelated entirely. So the person who made the Dark Chirithys is the traitor according to Ira's definition, because he's like, someone must be betraying us because they made a Dark Chirithy. That is traitor number one. That is almost undoubtedly the Master of Masters, because he's a douche and he's messing with everyone. And is like if you watch him with his, he's clearly setting them up and pitting them against each other and just trying to cause a problem. He's obviously trying to cause the Keyblade War because he doesn't want the prophecy to get messed up for some reason, which is sketchy. Especially if you played the Final Fantasy 13 series, it's just really worrying and upsetting. So the second one, is the one on the Lost Page. That is undoubtedly referring to Ava. There is a cutscene that cuts between Gula talking to you, Scold, and Chirithy about quotes on the Lost Page, and cutting to this cutscene with Ava talking to Lushu. What happens is she asks him who the traitor is. It cuts to this, and he reads this little bit of the Lost Page. The one unable to forgive this is tastefulness, who thought of fate with pessimism and lost true strength, the one who will misread the truth and step into secrecy. And then it cuts back to this, and he says, she's like, no, it can't be, and he says, yup, that's the identity of the traitor. This is after she accuses him of it. Why I don't think Lushu, which, because of the cutting and the cinematography, that basically narrows it down to the Lost Page traitor being one of those two people. It's probably not Lushu, because Lushu is literally in a watcher corner where he can't do anything. He's just sitting in a corner on his box with the stupid eye keyblade, one day I will give this to someone, and then that someone will give it to someone else, and they'll give it to someone else, and then Xehanort will happen. Everything will be terrible. Yay. Furthermore, it then goes beyond, it cuts back later and it says, and with that one swing, the bell that tells the end of the battle will sound. The battle will finally begin at the destined time. Immediately after that, it cuts to this scene where she strikes him. It is obviously her attacking him and him blocking, and then it cuts to the tower chiming. And then it cuts back to them hearing the tower chiming and going, oh, well, I guess we're all screwed now. Time to die. That's just, she did it. She did the thing in the prophecy, word for word. You can't really argue with it. This is my case that I present to you. The traitor on the Lost Page is Ava. This is less weird, especially also if you consider her dialogue later during the Keyblade War. When you run in to fight her and you're like, weren't you supposed to leave with the dandelions? She's suddenly really secretive and won't talk to you and is like, I have to do a thing, okay? Just, you gotta understand. And basically it's him being like, oh yeah, I'm the Lost Page, you're kind of the traitor. It's also stated that the traitor is the one who will end the world. Now this is more in a theory vein of than this is solid, this is me speculating and being a nerd. It's probably likely that she personally was the one who activated Kingdom Hearts, and that's why there's the Lost Page, and they're talking about the Lost Page, especially since Gula put that idea in her head in back cover, where he's like, I'm gonna summon Kingdom Hearts, and she's like, don't do that, that's stupid, and he's like, oh, okay, but then later she's like, no, I'm gonna be stupid now, and not because she's selfish or anything, because she's trying so hard to help everyone and stop it, that she winds up accidentally making everything worse. Much like Sora. Yay! So that is Ava is the traitor. Okay, next. So we're gonna talk about some foreshadowing stuff. I mentioned earlier, they love using mechanics to foreshadow in Square Enix games. Have you ever stopped to think about the fact that you might have a Keyblade and you're fighting, quote unquote, the Darkness with Vanitas, Sephiroth, and some Seeker of Darkness, 3 Neo Shadows, and Xehanort himself?
No.
Cause that you can do that, and there's no repercussion, and that doesn't really seem like being pure of heart or fighting the Darkness, yes?
I don't think you can use that because it's over the amount.
It is over the amount, but that's only because those are medals that I don't use very often because I was trying to make a funny point. And they don't have SIDS on them. Only Vanny and Steffi have SIDS. I think Ansem might have a few. I know the Neo Shadows don't. Hi, sorry. These are all screenshots from my account. But, oh, not that one though, not the one at the bottom. But yes, similarly, if you look at the Keyblades, they force you to use at least 50% darkness at any time. Like, if you want to be optimally strong, you have to literally balance light and darkness, which is Xehanort's ideal, not Team Yensid and Sora, which is a worrying thing to think about. It speaks a lot about what your character in Key might actually be like. Also, there are just random confusing things that I don't understand, like, why is Anti-Form Sora an upright metal? Like, it's a Heartless. What are you doing? And Rox isn't a reverse metal, I guess because he's a nobody, but like, no. He's a precious child. He didn't do anything wrong. It's not like Lee. Lee does sketchy stuff all the time. He can stay reverse. Fucking murdered some people. Shield reverse too. Like, Shield didn't do anything. Shield literally hurt no one. Yes? They did. Well, they have the Sora Roxas medal. But it's still interesting that they keep making choices like this. Because it's something they keep doing. And I find it interesting. And yes, and the power of angles and guilt. Oh, did we never get the screenshot that I wanted from Key?
Maybe.
Okay, well, sorry. So the Japanese version of Key, guilt works a lot differently. It was something literally harvested from Heartless. That is, and then you use it to power yourself up. It was so sketchy. And it was a direct multiplier to your, everything. It wasn't like you applied it to an individual medal. It was each week you could harvest guilt from the guilt Heartless for the week. And when you got to a certain point, you would get a ×2 multiplier on everything you did. It was super OP and super sketchy. And it's like, oh yes, let's harvest this darkness and use more of this darkness for this darknessy darkness. So next, you were pretty sketch. That is me making an avatar look as sketchy as possible for reasons to make a point. You can look really sketch, especially with those eyes now. Like, holy crap. But those are cloud swings, so it's a little cheating, but yeah. But yeah, no, you literally let Hades teach you how to darkness. You are doing this just to get information for Cloud technically, but it's still it's less that you're doing this and more that he literally says at one point that he's amazed that you are able to survive in the underworld so easily without being affected by the darkness. That's concerning. Because if you think about Kingdom, it's the same mechanics as Kingdom Hearts 2. If you're a true hero, you need the stone to not get wrecked while you're in the underworld, right? Even Demyx needed that stone to not get wrecked in the underworld. Well, that is because Demyx is literally a precious snowflake who needs to be protected at all costs. But, my point is, he's a nobody that's a quote-unquote being of darkness and still needed that stone. Oh, that also means Demyx is a true hero, by the way, just spreading the word. But yeah, no, so, and it makes Sora killing him even sadder. Also, if you read the manga, he doesn't just get killed in the normal fight. He gets, his own water gets frozen and then it skewers him. It's really messed up. And he's crying as he's dying. And you're just sitting there being like, I just watched Donald Duck murder this precious child.
A lot of the deaths of organization members are actually really dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't read that one.
But anyway, so, but the point is, you're really sketchy. You can survive in the underworld without any problems, and that's weird. And also, like, when it comes down to it, and your foreteller, it's Ava messing with you, but you don't know that at the time, and your foreteller works up to you and is like, yeah, I kind of killed Ephemera for being a bad guy. You're like, no, I'm done. Drops the mic, says stuff for like the first time in the entire game, and then is like, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. Yes.
I'd just like to add that in the Chain of Memories mod, the bookmark scene is reading is actually porn.
Thank you!
I thought it was how to be a sadist.
No, Marquis de
It's like Marquis de Sade.
Marquis de Sade is actually like 18.
It's like 18th century, like, BDSM.
Yeah.
What?
And they also get like KFC.
They do.
They do get KFC.
They're passionate.
Memories manga.
I love the basement trio's little like chart of chores in the corner. This is not very off topic. I'm sorry. Anyway, next. So the kid's on the cover. The current cover. Not the back cover. But I'm changed. So yes, I want to start with Scold because she'll be faster to talk about. AKA your dog. For those of you who don't know your Norse mythology, Scold is one of the Norns and a Valkyrie. For those of you who don't know what the Norns are, they're basically the fates of Norse mythology. They can see the future, like the Book of Prophecies. They named her freaking Scold, and then you see her when you die and call her a goddess? What is going on with this child? It's sketchy. Yes, she is. That also means that this Dandy or Verdandi? This Dandy, right? Verdandi. Okay, I was right the second time. And old. Yes. I like your knowledge of this. They might show up as characters eventually too, especially with the habit of trios in Kingdom Hearts. Ephemera is just so sketchy. Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna be straight. Who here trusts a white-haired Square Enix character?
I can trust Cujo with my life.
I can't argue with that.
Right! Man wrong!
I cosplay Cujo.
Need pictures!
Talk to me after this.
Gotcha.
But anyway, but the point being, like, he walks in all like, oh, look at me being your rival friend with white hair. Nothing will go wrong.
There's not gonna be any problems with this at all.
Like, no. And then also, it should be noted, in the scene that he's talking to Ava in back cover, the ideology, and this is a kind of a weird thing to talk about, but like, the characters in this, they're very fleshed out. They have things like their own ideology and theology and stuff like that. His ideology matches Xehanort's to a T. It's just being presented in a framing that is more positive and like, oh, he's a cute kid, so it's fine. Not, he's an evil scientist, so he's wrecking shit. Like, that's what it is. But it's the same thing. It's the idea that you should pursue knowledge and learn things for yourselves. Those are all things that Xehanort says. It's just when he says them, they sound evil and bad. And because what that ultimately ends to is, not trusting people, rebelling against tradition, and it's the rebelling against tradition that becomes like dicey and more like really gray moral for the game series. And so he gets into that. He gets the only talking voiced line in the browser version of Key, and he says, the Square Enix line, to end all Square Enix lines, will go together. Which has been said in cute scenes, but also Crisis Core. Yes. Because I've been Venus. So, and he is saying it to you while you're dying in that scene. So, I mean, that is the correct context. It's Crisis Core. He straight up abandons you at one point to like go do other stuff, and he also becomes one of the second gen foretellers. I didn't get a chance to make a slide on that, so I'm going to talk about that now. For those of you who are super current in the Japanese version of the cell phone game, which is probably not a lot of you, because it is a bitch to keep up with, they have introduced the idea of the 5 Keyblade wielders who will become the new foretellers after the Keyblade War and carry on civilization. The first 2 are Ephemera and Skuld. The third one we refer to, well actually he's the 4th one, we refer to as Zexion McCree. Because he looks like Zexion with a cowboy hat on, guys. But like this, like he looks like Zexion took McCree's is cosplaying as McCree. That's what happened. I'm sorry if you don't Overwatch. His name is Blade. He also has a book, which is even more Zexion. And the third person that shows up is yes. Ventus has been foreshadowed to and teased to be a part of Key for a very long time. These artworks are actually very old that Nomura did, and especially the first one. It was the first anniversary of the browser version of the game, if I'm not mistaken. And you didn't really question it because, like, sorry, because Kyrie were there, and so you're like, why Ventus? Why not Ventus? So he's like chilling there. He doesn't have his armor or anything though. And then there was this art that very specifically was just Ephemera, Skuld, and Ven, and everyone lost their shit. Or at least like, those of us who noticed. Because it's like some obscure bounds of the internet that people with lives don't go to. And, who said that? Thank you. Someone just said, I know that place for those of you who've been here. Anyway, Ben has very recently shown up in the actual cutscenes. Notably, in the actual artwork and in his sprite, his hair is a little bit shorter. He doesn't have the cross or the symbol or the armor that he got from Ericus, because that obviously came from Ericus. I think that's like his only line. Like he might have one other line that's just like random generic, like, hi guys, I'm cute.
No, he has like a whole cutscene.
Wait, he has a whole cutscene?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about
You talk about it.
I'm the one who's watching
I mean,
because
you are Ventus.
It's me, I gotta know about myself. Okay, so actually, the cutscene where he shows up is very important, and the bottom right corner is
well, there's that. Specifically his lines.
No, he has more lines.
He does
like
have lines?
his
Okay.
first lines are spoken while he is still off screen. And when he is revealed, like it's a like slow pan up from his feet to his face, being like, boom, here is Ventus. Bet you weren't expecting this. And then he
Except that we were.
Yeah.
Except that we were. But it's like they tried to be like to hide it. And it was, you know, very clearly, hey guys, look who's here. It's Ben. But anyway.
So he also refers to himself as Ben, which is weird because for those of you who for some reason paid enough attention during either the novel or I don't even know where this is, but I do know it is in the novel. Okay, it is a very obscure fun fact from the novel. Terra gave Ven his nickname. He went by Ventus while he was a zombie, and Xehanort dropped him off at Ericus. He was like, "This is Ventus, fix it." And Ericus was like, "Okay, hi Ventus," and he went by Ventus. And Terra like couldn't pronounce it because he's an adorable dork. He kept being like Ven, which is like basically in English it's like how do you not pronounce that? But Japanese, it's Japanese. So he was like, I can't do it. I'm just gonna call you Ben. And like he was like, I have a nickname, and it was adorable. And so the fact that he has that nickname, I mean, somewhat like he could have just gone by Ben before then, like coincidentally, and then like forgot, because like he obviously doesn't know anything about like his stuff, his life beforehand when he was training with Master Xehanort. Like he lost his memories somewhere along the road, and then lost them even more when Xehanort shivved him. So it's a bit of a red flag, but it could mean nothing. Also, the big thing is they're talking beforehand. That's Master of Masters and that's Ava. And you know Ava is in charge of the Dandelions, and they're like the leaders of the Dandelions basically. And apparently, the Master of Masters is the one who picked those kids, not Ava, which is red flag number 1. Like that's bad. This is a bad sign. because he's Deadpool. You don't trust him. And he gives her this list of names, and she asks, "Why is this kid's name circled in red?" And he says, "Because that's the one I want to hand over the book of prophecies. Just that one." Which is probably Ben.
Yeah.
I mean, Blaine has a book, but it might not be the book of prophecies. It's not it. It's a different book, trust me.
It's Master Ava's rule book.
Oh, it's
I
Master,
have a
oh.
copy of it.
Okay, never mind, so that's different. So yeah, so that's probably Ben. Also, because of that and some other things, like, we're concerned Ven might be literally the Book of Prophecies, like, physically, or the Keyblade.
I'm sorry.
And he might literally
yeah.
Like, I get it, like, conceptual.
Yeah. He's almost definitely not human at this point.
For a phone game, though. Like, it's
Secretly a Cherokee.
The phone Square Enix does not make a game without plot. Like, they tried to make it without plot, and they were like, JK, it's super important now, we're sorry. This is what happens every time. Yes, he's not human, and personally, my number one guess for what's in the box, unironically, I made the joke before, is Ben is in the box. It's a person-sized box, and they like putting people in boxes in Japan. Like, there was Outlaw Star, and Gurren Lagann, and Kurshi, they all have people in boxes, I'm just saying. Yes.
I have a question. Was something that always confused me about it, and I didn't really know the answer for it, is that, like, while you're playing the mobile game, you travel, like, virtually.
Did we talk about, is that on another slide, or, I'm just gonna answer that now because I'm not sure if it's on another slide, that's important.
I think it got split across a couple slides that weren't next to each other.
Oh, okay, I'll answer it now. Ephemera,
Oh no, that's, we're getting to that.
we're getting to that. But I was like, wait, we specifically have that slide. I was like, we got that
I think it
screenshot,
might be
yeah.
the next
It's
one.
not, it's probably, hit next, let's see.
No.
No,
It's something
this
else.
is bullshit. This is some other bullshit because this happened. So, there was episode 0 at the end of the Japanese version of Key, and it dropped, like, the browser version of Key seemed to make sense fine for a while, until this happened. Like, I mean, it made enough sense. It was straightforward. And then it was like, Maleficent walks up and is like, talking about Sora and like being able to hide there, but like while watching you. Like, it pans from you up to Maleficent, so like, you're like, what? How can she be there and talk about Sora? Because it's the age of fairy tales. Like, what? What? Which basically, we know that she knows about the Book of Prophecies and we're trying to get into it. So, and Nomura also very specifically stated that the browser and cell phone versions of the game, for all their similarities, are not the same thing.
Yeah, so they're probably more like the two different dream layers in Three Drop Distance. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same logic as how there were two Traverse Towns, and they were the same but different. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's actually basically what we're talking about. Less detailed than that.
No, I think that's straight up stated what happened in the literal last quest update that we did
Oh.
to watch. That
Wait, there was one related to it?
yeah, it happened like a day before the convention.
Okay. Well, that might be confirmed. The assumed theory is basically that the browser version is what happened in reality in the past, and the cell phone version is what, like, you existing in the Book of Prophecies, or vice versa. I forget which is which, but you understand the point. You existing in the Book of Prophecies, like, remembering you, and like them cheating basically. Cheating your death, like you said. And that's how, because you being there, like, it's basically looping, and Maleficent hops into the Book of Prophecies to chill, to be like, peace guys. And that's how you're able to run into her and her talking about Sora. So it's happening in a memory of the past that is playing on a loop currently. Is one of the theories, but it is still unconfirmed. Next slide.
Well, I think I want to mention something
Oh.
first. I think this is the only time in the PowerPoint that we mentioned the credit flashbacks, so I want to talk about that for a second because
Oh yeah.
in the credits of the original browser key, they go back through a lot of the quests that happened, but rather than where your player character was, it's either ephemera or sculpt in
Yeah.
your place. So there is a decent possibility that you, the player character, may not even actually exist.
People not existing in a Kingdom Hearts game.
Gee, that's not a thing at all. But so we may literally just be fragments of the memories of other people who were actually there, and us as a team don't really exist.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
Yeah.
a character, another guy. Next.
Yes. Okay. So this is more theory-ish territory, but it's something that needs to be discussed because there is almost definitely a connection between the Book of Prophecies and Castle Oblivion. They function almost identically. They both you might be like, oh, they both use cards. That's a stupid lie. Like, no, Square Enix and they're because it's not just that they're using cards as a mechanic. They talk about it in the plot. It's Morlucia will be like, I am using this card to fight you now. It's not like Ventus ever goes, I am using the command deck to fight you now. There's a difference. It's slight, but it's there. And these are both situations where they're actually physically using cards, which are manifestations of something, of some kind of memory. Is that the... Yes. Okay, this answers your question from before. Ephemera tells you that the worlds that you're visiting, I don't like the official translation actually, because it says holograms and that's very misleading. Basically, you're traveling to some kind of projection of worlds from the Book of Prophecies. So the idea of the Dwarf Woodlands doesn't exist yet because it's hundreds or thousands of years in the past. But the Book of Prophecies says this is a place in the future and creates it, and you go into that and you use that to get Lux that's farther away basically. Use it to fast travel. That's also how there can be Emblem Heartless. Because that always drove me nuts until that cutscene happened. So that is very similar to the idea of the memory world you experience in Castle Oblivion. It's very similar. So what we're concerned about, especially since if you think about it, the most likely place the Book of Prophecies would have been is in the Land of Departure, because that's the only known Keyblade, school that we know of that still exists. And that became Castle Oblivion. So if the Book of Prophecies was hidden in the Land of Departure when it turned into Castle Oblivion, that might be the thing that powers all of its weirdness. Because the organization could never figure it out. And Ben is there for all of it. So, because he's taking an Axie, and it might be interacting with his suspended state, which is causing the Book of Prophecies to act up, which might be what some of the key stuff is. Maybe, I don't know. We're figuring it out, but it's an important connection to consider going. Let's go to the next thing. Chess! No, my favorite, my favorite game is Kingdom Hearts. No, but it's my favorite game for getting information from and over-analyzing the crap out of. So, the chess game in the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer is a map to Kingdom Hearts 3. It explains and foreshadows a bunch of stuff, because they did all this intricate stuff with the chessboard that, I don't think, people even noticed Nomura did it, honestly. It's some crazy shit. But because there are pieces, by the end of it, there are 7 pieces on Ericus's side and 13 on Xehanort's. And all of those pieces have individual, unique tops that match different characters. So by looking at that, you can tell who the 7 Heroes of Light and 13 Secrets of Darkness are going to be. Ta-da! Which some of you may know, because it's been a while, but I made this like the day after the trailer came out, and was really proud of it. I'm sorry. But we also need to talk. Thank you. But we also need to talk about it because we need to talk about the Secrets of Darkness and the Heroes of Light, and I need to prove to you that I'm not crazy first. Because that's what lore panels are about. Sourcing your stuff. So, the Guardians of Light are the easy ones. The pieces that we see on the board are easy to match. Sora's necklace, Sora, Riku, the keychain, Kyrie's keychain. If you do not recognize Mickey Diddly Damn Mouse, get out of here right now. And those are the keychains to Aquaterra. And Ben's Keyblades, there. Those 2 pieces you can't see, they're the only other 2 pieces you see on Eric's board. They are probably a second Ben in Aqua, and we will get into why 2 slides from now. Next. Secrets of Darkness, not Dorkness, I was first one now. There are 13 pieces at the end, and some of them are obvious, like the goat from Master Xehanort's Keyblade is probably Master Xehanort. However, I made this obviously before Key came out because I just said it was right after the trailer, and that could also refer to Lucio or the Master of Masters at this point, because Key is terrible. And, you know, obviously, Baby Dork's keychain, the Guardian, which I know is not actually that, but I had to listen to him say it so many times, guys. He says it so weird. Science is Claymore, Benitez is, and that's what I was saying earlier, Benitez is basically confirmed because that's Lord Gear's keychain. There's no really arguing with that, and it's right up there on the board. And then Luxord, yes, Luxord, confirmed Secret of Darkness because who else has dice? I guess Setzer.
I was gonna say.
Like, I know there's one obscure Final Fantasy fan who'll get my joke in here now. So, or Kate says, but let's not think about that.
I would actually be happier with that.
And the crossblades here are Xemnases, yeah. There are a bunch of pieces that are obscured or unknown. So the unknown ones is the top one. It kind of looks like a fox to me. So at first I thought it was supposed to represent Ava, but I could be completely wrong. It actually resembles Gula's keychain more than hers. So we just don't know. Who knows what that is?
No, the middle one on the right is probably Brave's gun. Because at least one of them has to be Zigbar.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see where you're getting at. I also, looking at the top one, I'm like, it kind of looks like a flood now, but we know it's not that.
Unless Benitez isn't telling us something.
Well, there was the Benitez remnant, but let's not get into that. The lingering rule is enough of the secret boss is secretly really important for me today. I don't want that to happen again. It's too much. I'm the one doing this. We can't find this exported star anywhere in the game. There's the one right cut off. It might be Marley. I don't want it to be Marley because I do not Marley. No, I want Marley to be in Kingdom Hearts 3. I do not want him to be Norded.
I want to be Mario. I want to go back normal. Okay.
Yes, that's what I want. I do not want him to be a Nord. That's why I want it to be him. Yes.
Yeah. We want him back. We just don't want him to
We want him back, and we want Larxene back, and we want Demix back. We just don't.
I do that
But we just want that. I mean, I guess Larxene. I kind of want Larxene to be Norded because I just want him to have to deal with having a vagina because that's really I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, and the other ones are too obscure. The one that's obscured on the top vaguely almost looks like the symbol on the box-ish, maybe, but
I have
it's
my
too
own
obscure.
theory about that one.
Yeah,
I think that one. I personally think that one might maybe be Axel's keychain.
Oh yeah. Also, guys, Leah's not so nice.
I was gonna say
No.
I thought one of the two light ones was probably
None of them are. Yeah, Lee slash Axel. Ew! What? Cypher 13 vessel confirmed?
What?
It would be the second time he got possessed by some time-traveling, self-possessing asshole. Cypher, learn from your mistakes.
We got the dice, we got
That's true. Riku learned hard. Tara did nothing wrong. Don't make me go on that rant.
Erica's, that's what's wrong.
Thank you.
And Aqua.
Thank you for that. Like, Aqua is wonderful, but sometimes I want to slap her in the face for being a lawful good paladin.
Yeah.
Like, you need to tone it down. And also, Ericus, do not murder your children. I am sorry. Luke Skywalker, go home. Fun fact, if you didn't know, Birth by Sleep is actually just a giant metaphor for Star Wars versus Star Trek.
There, everybody, no Star Wars wrong 3. There we go.
Anyway, it doesn't look good. Okay, anyway, next slide. Okay, so, the whole game, if you watch the trailer over and over again, like me, it will, the moves and things that happen replay the events of the entire game. The first event show Burst by Sleep. It shows, Vanitas taking Ven and then Aqua taking Vanitas because that, he got possessed and then Aqua beat his ass. So on and so forth, and Terra getting taken by Xemnas or Ansem or someone's Xehanort, because, and then, all of the pieces moving match the game's plots, basically, is the point. So what this page is a couple of explanations about how that goes down. Doubles and tasties, I say doubles because basically anytime someone has a double, it's because they die for a while and come back, like Xemnas does, because like he died and now he's not dead, or they get hella possessed, but then will get better. Like Riku and Terra were the two pieces on the light side that had doubles. Well, besides, it was Terra, Riku, Aqua, and Ven, the two confirmed ones. Aqua and Ven's are because, Ven gets wrecked and then Aqua is stuck in the realm of darkness for 10 years because Mickey is a bad friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like, I would just like to say, the end of 0.2, where like it's Mickey telling the story and then Riku just turns around and is like, you left her in the realm of darkness for excuse me? And he's like, no, it was important. He was like, no, you stupid mouse, get your shit together.
At least we now have none of the reasons why Mickey Mouse was topless in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yes. Yes, we do. Anyway,
That's more important than anything.
that is true. So that's what those basically mean. I mean, these are super, detailed if you want to read all the text. But, and the taking obviously represents someone, again, getting possessed or beating their ass. Yes. Oh, yeah. I want it so badly, you have no idea. I just want Aqua to make him all of the cake that she made them. It's really important to me. He does! Okay, so next. Okay, we're almost done, guys. Then we can talk about random stuff if you want to stay around. So, cloud theory. This is a personal theory of mine that I kind of came up with before the artwork was released, and then when it was, I was like, okay, I'm really concerned right now. So, as you know, or as you may or may not know, they released a Final Fantasy VII 20th anniversary thing where Sora matched Cloud's position. They matched the covers. Yensid, after ripping Sora a new one, being like, boy, tells him very vaguely, without saying their name, there's someone who lost his strength and found it again, a true hero who you ought to pay a visit. They obviously are going to Colosseum, and Olympus Colosseum by the end of the thing. But Hercules isn't the only person who matches that description that you meet in Olympus Colosseum. There is, Cloud. Cloud Strife. Next slide. Oh god, these are so funny. Can you hand me the this mic? Or I can just hold this. I got it. Or I already got it. No, it's too late. Sorry, the text is so much. Oh, I know the text is blurry. I took these screenshots really badly. I'm sorry, guys. However, the darkness in you nearly took control of you. I mean, there's so many darkness with Cloud, but that was just the easiest thing to screenshot. And in the process, strip you of most of the power that you had. Cloud gets combo poisoning like 8 times. There's that was the prettier screenshot. There's like the time where he was in the wheelchair and all that other stuff. And also just all the times where he's just like too depressed to function. Cause that happens a lot too, where he's just like, no, I'm a failure. I can't do it. Cause he's like, him and Shion are like fundamentally the exact same thing, only Cloud is more angsty. Like, it's straight up though, like that's what happened. And then, furthermore, Xehanort almost took control of you. And that is a really quality screenshot of Cloud almost killing Aerith with Sid in your party. Yeah, those basically everything bad that's happened to Sora, well, and Riku and almost every every Kingdom Hearts character has happened to Cloud because Cloud's life sucks a lot. But the point being is, I'm kind of expecting them to surprise you, and even though you go to Olympus Coliseum and you talk to Hercules, the person that he winds up learning from is Cloud, because he has to basically go through Riku's like train of learning and learn how to darkness. Yes.
So who's Sora Zack?
Who is Sora Zack? That is a painful question, and I don't like it now. Who would Sora Zack be? Well, wouldn't it be Ben? Like, technically, even though they never met? It would probably be Ben.
Precursor who needs all his strength and actual characteristics.
Yeah, that's Ben. So, and also the one who's... He doesn't jack anyone else's memories, though. So, and Nominator just messes with them. That's just Cloud. Anyway, you had a question up front here? Yes. Someone, no, not you, behind you. Right behind you. Did you not? No? Okay, I thought someone over here was all raising their hand. Okay. That's fun. He might, especially because, I'm gonna tell you my favorite theory, guys. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, you meet Cloud in Olympus Coliseum. He is working for Hades. He has made a deal with Hades for some reason. And Aerith isn't dead.
Haha!
I know. Like, that is my accepted headcanon. Like, no, Aerith is dead. Cloud just, literally made a deal with the devil and brought her back because he's an angsty pile of angst. So that also explains why, Tifa's so confused and trying to get them to come back. Probably. But yeah, that's my favorite little there's next one. Yeah. So that's it, everybody. We can talk. Thank you. That's it for me talking at you. Now we get to talk with each other like normal human beings. So